Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new episode of season 2 of Doing It Raw
Relationship
Relationship
goals.
Goals on the Prospera Network.
Hey, Prospera.
Hello, I don't know what country you're seeing us from.
We've
I
missed
only
you.
know two languages, which is English and Spanish. So, hello and hola to my fellow Spanish.
Hola.
Hola.
Maybe he doesn't know the other.
Maybe it is 3 languages. It's like Spanish, Spanglish, and Spanish. So, hello, hola, hola.
Oh gosh.
We are Moises and Brenda Rico, and we help couples reignite, reconnect, and save their marriages from despair, from divorce.
And
from
we do it
anything
by
that-
being raw and talking about the things that you don't usually talk about, or people don't usually talk
The
about.
things that you run away from.
The things that you're like, no,
Skeletons
I'm
in the closet.
good. Yeah.
Yep. So we're here to talk about those things, and we're going to be raw with you. So if you're new here, or you probably don't follow us on our social medias or in our regular YouTube channel, my wife and I did a dating challenge, and that dating challenge was of us going on 50 dates for 50 days straight. I don't know if you can fathom you doing that in your own relationship. It was a bit task, and as a bit ask for us to go ahead and do.
Yeah.
We went through so many challenges. Yes, it was stressful at times. However, we want to emphasize one thing that we learned and that helped our relationship, no matter how healthy it was at that point, become even better, to the point where it's like, yeah, we need to talk about this and help you all achieve that without necessarily having to do 50 dates
Yeah.
in a row like we did. So this is for the men, so pay attention. Yes, even on my wife's camera. Pay attention, all right? This is directed towards the men, and then my wife will do the ladies' part. But for the men, okay? What we did, how this happened, and we're going to get into it a little bit, just know that it led to us having the best sex of our lives in our relationship after 12 years, 4 kids, so on and so forth. After a fight, okay? A fight that could have literally either been the breaking point of us going our separate ways or getting stronger. And luckily we went the other route. But it led to us having days in a row and weeks and months full of intimacy, the best sex we've ever had. She did the stuff that I like her doing without me even asking. So
That's
pay
fun.
attention. Yeah. Okay? Pay attention to that. And then the ladies'
And
part.
it wasn't like just because it happens when you have makeup sex after a fight,
Yeah,
right?
like
It happens a lot. Oh yeah, like we make up. That's the no. Like this was totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had makeup sex a lot of times.
Yeah.
But this was insane.
Yeah.
Like
her libido was higher than mine, and
it was like
what's going
day
on
in and day out. I was like constantly, I want to be on my husband. When can I find a moment by himself?
Mhm.
Can I throw him in the closet? Can I push him in the restroom?
Can I go to the car, to the garage, or the backyard, or wherever?
Can we leave the kids at grandma's for a month?
So, yes.
So, yes.
So, to give a bit of context, if you go back to watch those videos or those vlogs that we did, on day 26, we hit our kind of like a breaking point in our relationship, in the sense that some stuff was happening that got in the way, that led to us feeling disconnected. And something happened that day where my wife was overstimulated. We were about to do a date that basically record day 26. And we ended that dates in not so good terms. And you'll see that if you go watch, like it literally ends abruptly.
Yeah.
But if you continue watching into day 27, you'll see a completely different dynamic, a completely different change. And
it's like impossible.
It's crazy. So it's to be studied. So again, men, if you want what I just literally told you that happened, pay attention.
Yeah, you're going to want it because.
Yeah, and for the ladies' part, if you want I don't know if you want to speak to this, but If you want your knight in shining armor or your husband to be that type of husband, also pay attention.
Look, it wasn't just like great sex like everybody says. Oh yeah, we have great sex like in our marriage. It's not just that. Like it was like a full connection of like what we want, of being seen, like feeling heard, feeling wanted, like feeling like we're literally that one in the world that like he wanted to be with.
Yeah.
It was just like it's hard to describe.
It's euphoric.
Yeah, like it was a full connection of where for not just one day, but so many days, like every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, where when it's happening, it's like there's nothing else going on.
Mm-hmm.
My head is like, probably you guys relate, but the women, it's like spaghetti. Constantly thinking of what I have to do, what I didn't do, what I need to get done, whatever. And in those moments, like it no longer happens. It's
Mm-hmm.
no longer like
I have a headache.
my head hurts. Like my head did hurt sometimes. I was like, I don't give a F. Who cares? Like it'll go away eventually, or like I'll take some medicine. But
maybe what I need is vitamin D.
I need some vitamin D for that damn headache. Like, babe, I'm not feeling too good.
Yeah. So it worked, guys. All right, it works.
But it wasn't just the physical, like the emotional part of it was different. A whole other level, like mental. It was very spiritual. I felt so connected, not just to him, but to God.
Mm-hmm.
And in a sense, like I know that sounds weird because our world is all about like sex is dirty, sex is
Surface
sex
level.
between you and your husband shouldn't be talked about. It shouldn't be said. It shouldn't be like that's something between the two of you. Like yeah, it was between the two of us. There was nobody else there but
Mm-hmm.
God. But it was such a connection that it's hard to explain until you live it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want for you couples, for you married couples to experience that connection, because once you get there, trust me, like there's no way going back.
Nope. There is not. And the reason why we talk about it so much, and even with couples that we help that have come to us, the many things that they come tell us is like, we haven't done it in a while. We haven't been intimate in a while. We haven't, every time we have a certain conversation, it always leads to an argument. Then she gets this way, he gets that way, so on and so forth. It all boils down to a lack of connection.
Yeah.
And a lack of connection, like we tell those couples, like, hey, the stuff that you find being an issue in the bedroom usually is something going on outside of the bedroom, whether it's your partner doing something that you don't like, or so on and so forth. Whatever it may be, you don't feel connected to them because you can't communicate to you, or you hate the dirty socks on the floor. Whatever you think is an issue is
leave the dirty socks, baby. I'll pick them up.
Whatever you make an issue, right? Think about it. Whenever it comes to communicating, you're being vulnerable. Whenever it comes to intimacy, you're also being vulnerable. How can you be vulnerable with someone that you feel disconnected with, that you don't trust to a certain extent, that you don't feel like you can literally like lay it all on the floor, be vulnerable and naked, and be like, yeah, go ahead and take me. So that's why we emphasize this part so much, and why it's so important for relationships, is you need to be able to have that deep connection in that intimate moment, because that is a culmination of your connection, of your relationship. It's a beautiful act that you get to practice over and over and over again for the remainder of your life, if you choose to. And God intended for it to be that way. That conversation that we had. So on that day 26, before we even got into the date, my wife and I started the day with having a conversation about our intimacy. And it was literally like asking her, like, okay, what's a blocker? what can help you, what can help our intimacy improve, and for you to be there present in the moment, enjoying everything that's going on, and not feel like you have to be thinking about the next day or how you feel with a headache or whatever it may be. And um, it came down to like, what if you just focus on connecting? Like, not because the times prior, it was always focused on, I don't want to say always, but most of the time it was focused on climax, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, climax is like, okay, let's go ahead and get to the climax. So that's what we kind of geared our intimacy towards, is like, okay, how can we essentially pleasure each other
Yeah.
to the point of climax? That day, we kind of established like, okay, the next thing we can go ahead and do is connection. What do we just focus on connecting? Not necessarily climax. The climax is the byproduct of that connection, but the point of us being intimate and having that intimacy is to connect. Now, that same day later on,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't get into an argument per se, but my wife was feeling emotionally not in a good place, and that led to act a certain way toward me. Just in general, overall, the energy that she was putting out was not the best to have a date with, and that kind of caught me off guard because I was like, well, we just established we're gonna do this connection thingy.
Yeah. Like I
um
thought we were good.
yeah. um
I left you good.
and and this was at a time on the 50 days journey. We were halfway through it. Stuff had happened. I had been laid off from my job. Stuff happened after I got laid off from my job, that made my wife feel a certain way. Things that were happening, people that were reaching out to me, so on and so forth. And we got through those moments before. We were like, okay, we'll make it through. Don't worry. It's not affecting our relationship so much at this point, so on and so forth. But I think at that point it was like, okay, something is going on because this happened, that happened, this happened, and it all kind of led her to feel a certain way. In those moments, we did talk about it to a certain extent, but I think something bigger was going on here. So because I didn't know what to do, I thought I did the best that I could do with giving her space, but also being there for her as well whenever she needed to talk to me. Um, yeah, it was a bunch of things that were like, I just have no idea what to do. I don't know, because of these things were happening before. I don't know if the next thing that happens is gonna make or break our relationship or not. I don't know what next thing is gonna yada 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 or whatever it may be. I just knew at that moment, I had to give it to God completely and everything. I literally told him all of my fears, all of my worries, that if this continues, if something else happens, I don't want this to be like the breaking point of our relationship where she just gets tired of, like, I'm tired of feeling this way, I'm tired of dealing with this, so on and so forth. So I gave it to him, and I was like, God, please help me. I don't know what to do. And he didn't tell me in words, but essentially what I started feeling and thinking was, maybe this is not her. Maybe this is something else. Maybe this is the way that the enemy is trying to get to her and to our relationship, after seeing that, like, hey, we're gonna about to, our connection is probably gonna be the best that it will be because of the 50 dates that we're doing. And again, halfway through literally the dates, and this happens.
No. And then I mean we had established like, okay, how can we,
Yeah, the date that we had established, like,
yeah,
hey,
like hey, like tonight we're going to like focus on connecting a lot more. And then
and
that happened.
and it's crazy because the way that I brought that up to my wife is not necessarily what do you call it? It's a me thing or a her thing, is a God thing. And what I mean by that is, like, God intended for the intimacy between husband and wife to be about connection, to be about a spiritual connection, an emotional connection, a mental and physical connection, of course, but all culminated into one in that moment. However, it's holy. It's a holy thing that you get to practice because it's approved by God. God wants you to go ahead and have that connection with that significant other. Not with everybody, because you cannot have that with everybody, but it's with the one person that you have dedicated your life with, that you're supposed to have that much deeper of a connection instead of just a surface level physical one. Because that's how the world treats it. That intimacy and sex is surface level. You should not be, all you should be feeling is physical pleasure. That's it. But no,
Yeah.
we established at that point that because we got married unto God, and God, this is a holy union, that everything about it needs to be holy, especially our intimacy. So that's why we had established that, like, hey, this is what God wants us to do. That God wants you to feel good about us doing these acts, right? And that day, that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why like even me, I was like, okay, something's going on, something's not right, because why would like that lead into this moment?
Mm-hmm.
Which made me realize, okay, I need to do some reflecting because something's going on that, it's like it's stupid. Like it shouldn't have gotten to this point. Like we
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have had like a fight over something like this.
Yeah.
But I just realized how, how in our relationships, like in marriage, you like we're always, as women are always like, we want to be feel seen, and we want to be feel heard, or
Mm-hmm.
like we want to be heard, and we want this. And I realized that all of that what that we want, we kind of expect it in a different way.
Mm.
Like we have these expectations of like, oh, I'm gonna be feel seen if my husband like picks up or does the laundry, or if my husband like helps me with this, and I'm gonna feel heard if he like listens to me.
Mm.
But then I just realized that all that happens when you're being intimate and fully connected.
So
So
even
like,
now, after that happens, you're still learning.
because like you reflect back on it, and it's like we're kind of expecting, like we're kind of putting these expectations on our marriage and our partner of like, if I feel seen, he's a good husband,
Mm-hmm.
and if I'm heard, he's a good husband, and you are. But then that's like putting a lot on you.
Mm.
But I realized that I've never felt more seen or more heard, more like in touch with you, more connected to you than when we were being intimate,
Mm-hmm.
like fully, after that day of where we're like, no, like,
Yeah.
and we, after that day, like constantly, like every single time, even to this day, babe, it's like a connection is there that nobody can take away.
Yep.
Where I don't need you to like hear me out outside of there, or like look at me, or like see me or whatever outside of there, because when we're there, like it's full.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It's crazy.
It's euphoric. It's like the way that I told my wife, because no matter what, again, just because we had that moments and those moments afterwards, after that date, doesn't mean that the enemy is still going to try to go ahead and keep us apart. And he's going to use the easiest thing that he can use against you. Sometimes it's your insecurities, it's your past, and so on and
Yeah.
so forth. And he will win if you allow him to go ahead and win, if you don't catch yourself. Because even then, after the 50 days, I think after we came back,
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation with my wife about hey, how can I help you with becoming healthier? For you to see yourself the way that I see you, as far as like the reasons why I'm attracted to you, how I view you as a woman, and how I'm attracted to your body physically, but also emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Starting with the physical part. Um, a lot of women are going to be
Mm-hmm.
like, "What? What are you trying to say?" But it was for the sake of our relationship. Because if I told her, like, if you lose yourself, then we lose our relationship. Because if you lose yourself, then it's like, well, you're gonna blame whatever obstacle you're gonna put in front,
Yeah.
as to the reason why you lost yourself, whether it's because of me, whether it's because of the kids, whether it's because of life,
Mhm.
whatever circumstances, you're going to convince yourself that that is the reason why you lost yourself.
Mhm.
But I'm here telling you now, like, hey, if one part is the physical part, let's go ahead and work on that. How can I help you with that so that you don't lose yourself? The next part we'll go ahead and deal with if we need to. If you see that it is getting in the way, then we'll go ahead and address it. But it's starting with the physical one. Um, and like those things, like the way that, like my wife has told me multiple times, if she doesn't feel sexy, then it's hard for her to be like want to be intimate. But why don't you feel sexy? It's more than likely because of what?
Because of how I see myself.
Yeah. And insecurities. Even though, like me, I've never told her that
Yeah.
she doesn't look sexy or she looks ugly or a certain way. Like to me, I've always been attracted to her physically, and it's like yeah, like no one else can make me feel the way that she has made me feel.
Yeah.
But no matter what, the stuff that the enemy will go ahead and try to attack her with, they can still get to that point. But that's why I'm here to fight those things. And that is what led for us to have those amazing intimate moments and for multiple days, even up till now, is her see that no matter what, because again, one of two things could have happened. I don't know how you guys handle conversations or arguments or disagreements or so on and so forth, but some couples, they don't even talk about them. They're like, okay, this is just going to lead to an argument, so we're not even going to get to that point. We're
Pretend
just,
like nothing happened.
yeah, pretend nothing happened, let things wash over, they think. But really, what you're doing is letting a seed of a weed stay there, and every single argument that you think, it's just watering it to the point where you're like, I can't even trust you anymore because there's so many arguments that we haven't even addressed. I don't trust you anymore, so on and so forth. But what I showed her that day is like, I'm here to fight. I literally had a stern conversation with her. My tone was very aggressive. I was like willing to fight and so on and so forth. But I told her and I said to her, like, hey, the way that I'm talking to you right now is not directed towards you as my wife. It's directed towards whatever is trying to get to you. And I'm here to let that thing know that I will not let it win, that I will fight to the death to make sure that it doesn't affect you, it doesn't take over you, and I have God behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to believe that that made her, you know, get a little sprung for me.
A little. But yeah. Um I mean, like I said, it's hard to explain, but obviously like we could talk about this forever, just because it was so like big, it was intense, and it was a huge moment for our relationship. But yeah, like I just can't, like, it's crazy to me that sometimes we let such a small thing get in the way of being able to like move on a bigger level
Mm-hmm.
in your relationship. um like you said, like you don't talk about it, you just let it like go or whatever, and those are the things that kind of keep your relationship where they're at, or they make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that, think about the things that are going on right now that you should be having a conversation about, and have it, like don't let that like just stay there like stagnant water. Like don't, just have the conversation, because it's either going to get better or you're just not. If you don't do it, you're just going to stay the same or get worse.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked a lot about it on our regular podcast. We don't have a lot of time here, but we hope that this kind of ignited something in you to start thinking about your own relationship and how it can get to a better place of how you want it to be. If it's you want to have more sex, then let's work towards that. If it's you want to feel more connected, let's work towards that, because it technically is all
Yep.
together.
It's all intertwined.
Yeah. So
But yeah.
so We are excited for this new season. We're going to have a bunch of guests, and we're going to talk about these things. And I know we came in hard, but it's only going to get harder.
Pun intended.
So, thank you guys for joining us on this first episode of season 2.
And we'll see you all in the next one.
Bye.